Yeah. We'll call this StanRTA meeting for Thursday, January 23rd to order. Roll call, please.
Chair Carr,
Here.
Vice Chair Wright,
You, David.
Wright,
Yes, I'm here.
Director Condit,
Present.
Director Morrow,
Here.
Director Ritchie,
Here.
Director Wilson,
Here.
Director Withrow. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we will open it up for public comment. Members of the audience may step to the podium, state their name for the record, and make their presentation. Any item that is not on the agenda cannot be taken action by the board unless that action is authorized by Penal Code or Code 54954.2. Do we have anybody from the audience that would like to speak at this time? Please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Ron McMurtry here. Just a couple little laundry list items. That's a big one. Let's do that last. Okay, as has discussed last time, Route 33 is extended to make the connections between the two MJC campuses. And it's a very minimalist structure, but one of the pitches was that we would have better access to the Modesto Main Library. And I'd just like to recommend, even though it's not useful to people not on the west side, we need a stop at Coldwell and Kearney. That would be the best accessibility to the post office. Currently, that stop does not appear on the map or on the Avail app. Cleaning the inside of the buses. I love it in the morning because the buses come up to the stop and they're super shiny and pretty. And I commented one time and the driver said, yeah, but sometimes the cleaning crew misses the insides. Not a lot of them, just some small percentage. And I talked to some other drivers, but apparently it gets taken care of by the supervisors. So a lot of drivers don't realize that some of the interiors are being missed. I talked about Avail with Mr. Herrera already. And now my last thing. Okay, the South Series project, or sorry, the South Series, I'm getting from the talk here that we're having trouble finding a site for the South Series hub / terminal. And I just went over the Measure L packet that was presented to the policy board. And I realized that it might make sense. You might have to juggle some things around StanRTA, but maybe coordinate it so that a bus depot or something is coordinated with the Mitchell Road SR 99. I know they're not ready to start, but maybe we should just make do because that's an ideal location for many reasons. And I would like to suggest you consider, shifting priorities until we can coordinate with Series to do that. I haven't talked to the mayor about when they think they'll have the funds to do it, but I just think that would make sense, efficiency, of course, and some of the other alternatives do not seem ideal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the audience that would like to speak at this time? Hearing none, I will bring it back. At this time, we will do our recognition for the Employee of the Month. At this time, it is our privilege to honor Katie Lamelli. Candy. Yes, I'm sorry. As our December Employee of the Month. Candy has been with Transdev for 3 years and has dedicated an impressive 18 years to serving StanRTA. Candy enjoys most of her role as a senior dispatcher in the opportunity to interact with and serve the community, which is a testament to her dedication to making a difference in people's lives. In her spare time, Candy values spending quality time with her children, which reflects her commitment to both her family and her work. Thank you, Candy, for 4 years of service, your dedication, and your passion to serving the community. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition.
Thank you.
All the way up by the flag.
Make notes on your call. Congratulations. Thank you very much for all your service and everything you do. Closed session. Okay. Moving on to consent calendar. Do we have any items on the consent calendar that would like to be pulled? Please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, once again. It's just an item. I was hoping to speak to the general counsel before the meeting to do this quietly, but I will ask my question now publicly. So I was reading the minutes, and in the closed session, it says, meeting pursuant to government code, but I didn't know what government jurisdiction we are talking about. Could you clarify, Councilor Streeter, what are those?
Give me just a moment.
I don't want a description. I just want to know what jurisdiction we're talking about. Is that
Are you referring to on item 12? or
the three closed session items from last session, and it says government code this, government code that, and it says numbers, but it doesn't say what the jurisdiction of the government code is.
So those are all provisions of the Brown Act, which authorize those closed sessions for those specific topics.
Okay, so those are state. Okay.
They're state references, yes.
Okay, thank you, Councilor.
Any other items that would like to be pulled or questioned? Okay, hearing none. Do we have anybody online that would like to speak to any item on the consent calendar? Hearing none. I will accept a motion to accept the consent calendar as is.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, discussion item 7A. Article 5 of the bylaws, Stanislaus Regional Transit Authority specifies that the authority will elect a chair and vice chair. These two positions are, according to the bylaws, chosen from among the elected members of the board of directors. Citizen members, once appointed, may not hold either a chair or vice chair position. Mr. Adam.
Okay, so just as you said, we do this once a year at the beginning of the year, where the board needs to select a chair and vice chair for the board of directors. It can only be one of the elected members, so one of the 5 elected members of the board, and the current chair and vice chair can continue in their roles. There's no term limits there. So at this point, you can ask for nominations and for a motion to appoint.
I guess at this point, if the board would approve, I would like to continue as chairperson of the board, so I will self-nominate unless there's any opposition.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. I appreciate the confidence that the board has put in me. For vice chair, do we have anybody that would like to run for vice chair?
You want to say aye? I'll do it if you don't want to. I'll nominate Chris Ricky.
Okay, I'll second that. Do we have any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor of Chris being the vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Okay, 2025 State and Federal Regulations Program, Mr. Adam.
All right, thank you. James, you could pull up my presentation. Last year, we did this as the first time that we asked the board to approve a legislative program for the board for the StanRTA. So this is something that I'm going to start to do each year around this time. So I'll go through this a bit. It's not long, but definitely have any questions or comments along the way, I'm definitely happy to discuss them. It is about the same as last year as well, so you may remember that. So go to the next slide, James, if you would. So the introduction to this, the purpose of having a program is to help us, help the board, help staff have some guidance on the advocacy efforts that we do at both the state and the federal level. So the program here gives us authorization to look at the different laws that are being proposed, the different initiatives that are being proposed, and the efforts that are being done by our different advocacy groups as well, and helps give me some direction on which way to go with these. The program, and we'll go through what the program here is in just a moment. It gives me some broad, it's broad enough to cover the different items that could come before us or come before me, or that could be proposed at both the state and the federal level. Go next slide, James. So this is the program, and I'll go through each one. So these provisions align with our trade associations, which are the California Transit Association and APTA, which is the American Public Transportation Association. So number one, ensure that existing transit funds are protected. Obviously, if we don't have those funds, we could be in jeopardy of reducing service, and we don't want to do that. Two, secure new funds for transit, so we can improve service and improve all the different projects that we have in the pipeline. Three, pursue laws and regulations supporting transit and defeating those impeding transit's ability to meet the public's mobility needs. Sometimes there's different laws that could impact us, and that's something to keep aware of and to oppose if we need to do that. Number four, enhance the public transit's role in addressing air quality issues. That's one of the many things that public transit is good for, is to address air quality. And we know we've had some bad air quality recently. And then lastly, enhance public awareness of transit and its daily positive impact on the lives of all Californians. And I should put in there of all residents in Stanislaus County as well. And that's just to continue to talk about the good things that we're doing, to get more people on the bus and do all the good things that public transit does for our community. Next slide. So in involvement, so we do have some involved with our different advocacy groups. One I mentioned, the California Transit Association. There's another one called CalAct, which is California Association for Coordinated Transportation. I didn't put it up here, but the APTA as well, the American Public Transit Association. I actually serve on both the legislative committees for both CTA and CalAct, as Angela does, and Letty. So we have some involvement on those to keep a pulse on the different legislative efforts going on at the different levels. Both entities have conferences as well. CTA has a conference in May, and APTA has one. Actually, it's also in May this year. CTA is in Sacramento, and the APTA legislative conference is in DC. So I try to attend those if I can as well. And I think that's it. Go to the next slide. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. The program is in your packet. If you have any questions, I'm happy to talk through it.
Are there any questions or comments from the board members?
Just real quick, Adam, so these organizations, the CalAct and the APTA and CTA, so they all have lobbyists, is that right? Those organizations have lobbyists, which I guess we're a part of, so we, in essence, fund through our dues.
Right.
And those lobbyists then all act on behalf of everybody. So no need for us to have our own lobbyists. We do it through these associations.
Right. That's what we've done it. Other transit agencies do have their own lobbyists. At this point, I think working through our associations is the right way to go. They do advocate on behalf of all transit agencies, both in the state or in the nation. Of course, I'm actually on the executive committee for the CTA as well, so I am a part of directing that effort. So I'm aware of that.
Do you ever see, that's good you're a part of it, that's great. Do you ever see though, I mean, we're very different than San Francisco or LA or, I mean, do you ever see instances where they're advocating for something that's contrary to something that would work for us? Just fare boxes, I don't know, something that.
Yeah, I haven't yet. If it was, and you know, when I'm in those meetings, there are some oppositions to some regulations. So it's not always a unanimous decision on a specific topic. But if there is opposition, enough opposition, the CTA they just won't advocate for that position. So it's not going to be. I mean, they're advocating for us on certain levels, but there could be times where we could be in opposition to a law that's being proposed, and I would make that known. But it may not go anywhere because I'm one voice on that committee.
And you said there are some transit agencies that do have their own lobbyists, so
Yeah, there
are
are.
those like very large ones, or I'm just wondering?
The large ones do for sure. Our size, I, I think there are a bit, but I'd have to look into that.
I just want to throw that out there to make sure that we're, and I'll leave it up to you, board, whatever everybody decides, but if you felt like there was this point where because there's things that hurt us that, the big cities want, and so, if we're in a spot where we're, through their association with them, that we're stuck with these things, whereas it would be more beneficial, and maybe it wouldn't matter if we had our own lobbyists, they could push for smaller ones, but anyway, just something to be aware of, and just, I'm sure you are, and that we can see if there, at some point, we ever get to a spot where we think that we need our own lobbyist organizations, because it's at our detriment to be a part of these other.
I guess just one comment, kind of on that, just as an example. In the last couple of years, there was the big transit agencies in the state had a fiscal cliff, and they were going to have to cut service, and the states stepped in and funded their operations so they could keep going. We didn't have that fiscal cliff, and so we were able to use that funding for our new operations facility instead. So we did, and but as part of those discussions, CTA they wanted to be sure, and I was part of that, to make sure that all the transit agencies in the state were funded proportionally, so that not just the big guys got all the money. So we got our proportional share as well.
Good, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments from policy board members? Okay, do we have anybody from the public that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none. That was an informational item. Oh, okay. I will make a motion to approve the 2025 state and federal legislative program. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we will move on. Two informational items. I'll let the policy board members review those at their leisure. And we will move on to our CEO report.
That's me again, getting my presentation up. Just a few things wanted to make the board aware of with the CEO report. As mentioned in public comment, we did make the change to Route 33 as we talked about at the December board meeting. This change to the route adds a section on Caldwell going around MJC East, making the connection between MJC East and MJC West for students. But there are some other people that have taken advantage of that new connection as well. So it's great. And so far, I've heard good things about this route. I was on this route last week, I think, and it worked out well as well. So we'll be doing some more tweaking on it, just make sure the timetable's right. But I think it's working out well so far. Rosa Parks Day is a transit day that most transit agencies talk about what Rosa Parks did for public transportation. And so as we've done last year, we're gonna on this date we'll reserve a seat for Rosa Parks on each of the buses with the sign there that you'll see there on the seat as well. So it's nice to recognize what she did for the transit agency many years ago. A fun thing that we're doing, this is the first year that we're doing this, Valentine's Day cards. So if you look at these were all designed by the marketing team, April and Simon. It's fun. The idea here is that we're gonna give these out to passengers that they could use. We'll have the files on our website they could print out as well. We'll also print out a bunch for people to have. And you can see they're all transit related. They're StanRTA logoed. So roses are red, our buses are blue. I know how much I love you. So lots of fun. It's just fun. So it just brings a good, happy, positive vibe to the StanRTA. So I thought it was fun and wanted to share it with you. So if you like some cards, let me know. We'll get you some for Valentine's Day in a few weeks. Progress on the Hatch Road bus stop. So this is Hatch and Moffett in series. This project was started just a few weeks ago. It's putting a new bus stop, a bus turnout along Hatch Road, right next to the Hatch Road Canal, which you see there. This was approved by the board a couple months ago. I just want to show you some of the progress of this. It should be done in a few weeks. Hopefully by the end of the month, it'll be done. And we have to have it done before before the water comes back in the canal, which could be in the next month or so. So we got to be wary of that. But if you could go down Hatch Road while they're doing the construction, they do close a lane there. So just be aware of that. But it should be done soon. So it's great to have this project going. It will really save some time on the bus route that we have, which is doing some detours in this area until we get this thing built. So it'd be great. It's a great addition to the system. And then lastly, this just came in yesterday, and we'll give more information at the next board meeting, but the audits came in for the last fiscal year with no findings. And it's awesome to have. We'll have the full reports and the full report from the auditor at the February board meeting. So just want to give you an update of good things that are happening. I thought I'd share it since that just came in just yesterday. So, and that's all I have. Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much. Move on to director's reports. Do we have anybody from the policy that would like to, please, sir?
Okay, just a couple of quick points. Last month, I took the commuter to the Bay Area for the first time. So it was a nice, smooth trip, stayed on time, and it was a wonderful way to go and connect to BART to get to San Francisco. But the point I wanted to make is I took the bus that leaves here at 9:30 in the morning, and I was thinking maybe I'll be the only one on the bus, and it surprised me. There were 10 other passengers on the bus as well, which I knew the very early morning and the very evening runs are quite busy, but that kind of surprised me a little bit, which was quite positive to see. The second thing is a question about an assembly bill that went into effect on January 1st. AB 1904 allows transit agencies to put either a yield sign or a flashing yield indicator on the left rear of buses as the buses are going to be pulling out of bus stops. So I was wondering, is that something that we should be looking at to equip our buses, of course, pending the cost of it, which has to be investigated. So I was just curious to know whether we had any idea of at least looking into that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that new law that allows those signs on the buses. And it's something that Simon and I are reviewing to see if it's an option that we should be considering. Kind of want to see what other transit agencies are doing, see how it's working for them, and obviously look at the cost for those as well, and see. We just need to understand the program a little bit more. But it's definitely something we are looking at.
All right, good. Thank you. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much. Any other director's reports? Okay, hearing none. Okay,
I just want to thank StanRTA for the Route 33 extension. The MJC students have truly appreciated it very much. And thank you to the drivers who have been very flexible as we have brand new students who started last week and getting their ID cards and not using the stickers anymore has been a transition. So we appreciate the patience. Thank you.
thank you very much. Any other director's reports? Okay, at this point, we will adjourn into closed session.
And I take that in the form of a motion, Chair
I-
Carr?
That will be my motion, yes. Second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next meeting will be Thursday, February 27th, 2025. I will let you know that I probably won't be here. If possible, I will attend remotely. So we'll go from there. And with that, we are adjourned.